pretty well established that he had a connection to Epstein. There are photos of him in connection to Epstein. I talked about this in a previous sidebar. It was reported that there was this bizarre email where Epstein alleged that Gates needed medication to treat an STI from having sex with Russian girls. Bill Gates has denied all of this. But anyway, giving you an idea about the big names. So what about the other names? Now, I'm going to give you the caveat that is laid out by Pam Bondi in her letter. It says, quote, names appear in the files released under the acts in a wide variety of contexts. For example, some individuals had extensive direct email contact with Epstein or Maxwell, while other individuals are mentioned only in a portion of a document, including press reporting that on its face is unrelated to the Epstein and Maxwell matters. Like, for example, you might have somebody like Elvis Presley, obviously no connection to Jeffrey Epstein, but then you get a Prince Andrew, who we, by the way, talked about extensively.
Good morning. Good morning, y'all.
So that is what I want to provide context and explanation for, because listing these out, people might jump to conclusions.
Ruger, can you back up and give me some room?
A name like rock singer Janis Joplin. You know why she's in there? She was referenced in a mass email that BCC'd Jeffrey Epstein, and in the email listed music of the week. Quote, Janis Joplin, Big Brother and the Holding Company, Piece of My Heart. Seemingly innocuous, although interesting because there appears to be a redacted line underneath this sentence. What about Nirvana's Kurt Cobain? Why is he in there? So in an informational email that was sent to Epstein,
watching these Epstein files, y'all, crazy.
One of the things it seems to recommend for him.
I can't wait till I can start reacting to videos.
22nd anniversary of his death. So as you can see, it's not like Joplin or Cobain were somehow connected to Epstein. Again, wouldn't even make sense given the time frame. And then you have somebody like former President Barack Obama, where from what I could see, it was just a lot of articles about Obama in the files release, like news articles. I didn't find any direct ties between Epstein and the former president. Same kind of thing with Bruce Springsteen. Mentions of him are about tickets and concerts and email blasts. So as you go through this list, and maybe you're going to go on the DOJ's library yourself, just keep that in mind. But what about somebody like actor George Clooney? Now, this is interesting because on one hand, you have Clooney mentioned in certain aspects. Like there was an email sent to Jeffrey Epstein in 2011 saying, quote, reminder, today is the day Peggy was hoping you could be in Venice with her for the Clooney opening. Pacino to be there, seemingly in reference to Al Pacino. Now, Peggy seems to be in reference to Peggy Siegel, big-time publicist, frequent communication with or about Epstein. We mentioned this before, but there was an allegation that she even tried to do damage control for Epstein when all these allegations were coming out. But then you have this email titled Toronto Film Festival, this is back in 2009, from Peggy Siegel to Epstein, where it says, had a great time in Toronto, saw everyone, George Clooney, Michael Douglas, Jeffrey Rush, Drew Barrymore, etc., saw all studio execs, more important. How about this one, from Siegel to Epstein from 2011? This email to George Clooney gives you an idea how successful my Venice trip was. Accomplished so much.
Say what?
We discussed their work with George Clooney, Kate Winslet, Keira Knightley, Colin Firth, Al Pacino, on and on. We have working on all the hot films. Have to write my story now. Miss you. Want to see you when in New York City. XOXO Peggy. So not really sure what.
So why are you in here?
Of course, she's just sharing with him her exploits, or he likes being involved or connected to the rich and powerful and wants to make connections, and she might be the conduit. I don't know. But then there's this one we got to talk about. So someone writes Epstein in 2010, quote, can I have a muse same as George Clooney? In fact, what about
it's
George
always
Clooney?
The ugly ones.
Epstein,
babe, have you seen her
in
picture?
Your position, it should be George Clooney. Now, at the bottom of the email string, it says Peter Mandelson, somebody we've talked about before, the British politician who came under a lot of fire for emails that surfaced with him and Epstein, particularly celebrating and congratulating him when he was released from prison.
Always the ugly ones.
On Florida state charges of solicitation of prostituting a minor. That's a little weird. Then you have this email, too, from Epstein to someone back in 2014 with the subject line, Clooney in Copenhagen, quote, now I know Copenhagen has interesting girls. Ask Gianni if you should see agencies on his behalf. This is what Epstein writes back. So I don't know what to make of these Clooney emails per se, but the actor has never been accused or implicated in wrongdoing in connection with Jeffrey Epstein. But obviously I gotta mention this. And then you got these notable people that have a more direct connection with Epstein, like actor Chris Tucker. Okay, you have this email from 2013 that reads, Chris Tucker will be stopping by to see J.E. sometime before his show tonight. No exact time was given. And we already know there were photos of Tucker.
Just want to say hi before I go to work.
Him and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Don't know the deal.
Quite a bit. What about Jay-Z? So Jay-Z presents an interesting one to follow. There is a 2019 FBI crisis intake memo where someone back in July of 2019 apparently called the FBI Operations Center to identify herself as a
Jay-Z's
victim
all over
of
the
sexual
files.
abuse by Jeffrey Epstein and others. And later on it says, quote, in approximately 1996, Redacted resided with Redacted in Redacted. An unknown man abducted Redacted from her home when she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter,
Good morning.
Jay-Z, while Weinstein had, I'm not going to be too graphic here, sexually abused her. Redacted believed she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida.
Morning, Mike.
Weinstein, of course, is the disgraced movie
How you
producer
doing,
who's
babe?
convicted of sex crimes. But I will tell you, this is very similar to a range of tips that authorities were receiving in the wake of Epstein's allegations that were potentially never corroborated.
You at work?
We discussed the same thing multiple times on previous episodes of Sidebar regarding the unsubstantiated sexual abuse allegations against President Trump, too. Just something to keep in mind. But names like Harvey Weinstein, not a great connection. Neither is Bill Cosby, okay? He, too, is mentioned in the Epstein files. Like, this email to Epstein from 2013, quote, Rich Barnett ran into Mr. Cosby's houseman on 71st Street. The houseman said, unfortunately, Mr. Cosby will be out west somewhere in California when you're holding the dinner on the 23rd. Otherwise, he would have loved to come. So this idea that Epstein just loved to be affiliated and associated with the rich and famous, and as we know, Cosby would later be accused and go to trial on sexual assault claim. This one was surprising. Former TV show personality Dr. Oz, who's an official in the current Trump administration. So there is an email from 2016 from Mehmet and Lisa Oz, that's his wife. And now remember, this is
Look at this
after
racist
Epstein's
person in here.
conviction on solicitation of prostitution charges of a minor.
How,
And
wow, the
this
trolls
email
kill
is
me
to
with how
Epstein, and it is
immature,
actually an invite to
weird,
Mehmet and Lisa
bizarre,
Oz's
and
Valentine's
miserable
celebration.
y'all
This
adults
one,
are.
sent to Epstein in 2010. Rudy Giuliani could see you tomorrow, either at 12 or at 4:45. I'm not sure what time you arrive.
Oh,
tomorrow, but
wow.
I'm the 4:45.
This one's real miserable. I want to kick him out, but
Just because he was invited places or had
look at this, Justin. Get out of here with that racist ass shit.
Robert De Niro list. Well, Epstein receives an email.
You weird ass fucking
Hi,
troll.
Jeffrey. Called redacted, but she never called back. Have been seeing.
Don't ever come in here with that racist garbage.
Call me when I think it's a set up coffee deal with De Niro. Launched in Whole Foods.
You don't have nothing to do this morning?
Yes, Jonathan. So maybe trying.
For real, you ain't got nothing to do but come in my chat and spell out the N-word?
So you go back to Peggy Siegel. How about this one, 2017, when she wrote, Dear Jeffrey,
Big
I volunteered to
douchebag.
help the
He's
New
a
York
fucking
City
lame.
Center with their
Listen,
spring
y'all,
gala called the 44th
I say it all the time, the
Annual
trolls,
honoring Robert De Niro on May 8th. Presenters include
they're the
Goldberg,
miserable ass
Streep,
people. They're
Scorsese,
people
Ben
that
Stiller,
are so
Ted
mad
Lasso,
at their
Tom
lives.
Cruise.
Clearly, like if y'all gotta take the time out to go into someone's chat y'all don't know, even if y'all did know me, to write bullshit and spread hate with this racist shit, that's weird. He's bored. He ain't got no life. How much you want to bet? No girlfriend. Miserable, even if he does. Miserable. When you gotta spread hate like that or just down other people, it's because you miserable with your own life. That's just it.
Quote, Leslie thanks. The things I discussed with Jeffrey were for he and Woody
But yeah, I'm gonna get him out of here.
to visit Mark
Piece of
Zuckerberg
shit.
at Facebook or for Mark to join them at dinner. I've sent Mark the options and I'm waiting to hear back. How about this? Andrea, could you also please pass along the below link to Mark from Jeffrey? Thanks. Again, this is Leslie, Jeffrey Epstein's assistant. How about this one? Here are the details for the Sunday dinner. Attendees are, and it lists out Mark Zuckerberg, Peter
All right,
Thiel,
I got
Jeffrey
him out of
Epstein,
here. No,
Warner's on
Ruger.
there too. I mentioned Hakeem Jeffries, so getting into the political space. It seems at the very least, Epstein was kind of keeping a careful eye on the Democratic politician out of New York. He was forwarded an article about the rising star in 2013. Epstein also received an email.
People are so
It
hateful.
says, Dear Jeffrey, I hope you received an invite to the party that Congressman Hakeem Jeffries this Wednesday night in Manhattan.
You know he lives in his mommy's basement. What I say all the time, Mike, he don't get no what?
Connection or direct email between.
You know he probably ain't getting no pussy.
Epstein. What about George Soros, the investor? Email sent to Epstein in 2011. Thank you, just landed in New York, was terrific. Flew over your island.
He was the dork in high school.
St. Thomas. George Soros and Richard Branson loved your question about dictators hiding.
You know, they also feel safe behind a screen. Because you know these motherfuckers wouldn't, probably aren't about shit in real life and probably would never talk like that to anyone.
Is there a connection between Bezos and
So,
Epstein?
it's just crazy.
Peggy Siegel to Epstein in 2009. Just left Ghislaine's townhouse after party for film. Bill Clinton and Jeff Bezos were there. Gene Pagoni,
Hey!
etc.
Get off! Ooh. You know what? That's what I was trying to say yesterday on my chat. How my dog needs fixed because he does this shit. Come here. No, Ruger.
Investor and former CEO
You
of
ass.
Apollo
Come here.
Global Management. So, for example, there's an email from May 26, 2023. The names are redacted, but the subject line is E-Notes trafficking Leon Black call. And this apparently was a call with Jan Christensen from Windor LLP. This is a law firm. And this firm actually at one point represented a woman who claimed she was raped by Leon Black, but they eventually wanted to withdraw from the case. And anyway, the email states, quote, Leon Black, Wall Street person, 72 or 71 years old now, founded the largest private equity global fund that exists today that's publicly traded. One of Epstein's friends, very powerful. Got a call from victim, who said that she heard about lawsuit against Black. Victim said Black raped her around 20 years ago, 2001 or 2002, in Epstein's townhouse. Victim described.
Go. I'm not hitting him, y'all. I'm just trying to get him to go.
On the floor and legs on his shoulders.
Go.
Excruciating.
Come on, listen, go.
Redacted at Manhattan DA's office.
Thank you.
Substance
Go,
abuse problems in
please.
1990.
Goddamn
By
dog.
Epstein, gave massages to Epstein
Ruger,
and Black.
You're not doing that shit up here.
Minor in Epstein's townhouse.
Go.
Told to give Leon Black a massage. Violently raped by Black.
Thank you.
16 years old when raped by Black. Epstein and Black used to talk about victim and described her as being 10. They knew about her. Redacted.
No, I did not hit him with that. I was trying to get him to go downstairs.
Associates arranging meetings between him and Black. I mean, there's one. Leon Black will come see J.E. tomorrow at 10 a.m.
That shit's pissing me off, but everyone said it's because he needs
And
fixed.
while Black's lawyer, Susan Estridge, previously denied the allegations, for example, saying in a statement Mr. Black asked for an independent investigation of his relationship with Epstein, the Detchert law firm investigated and reviewed more than 60,000 documents, interviewed more than 20 people, and concluded that Mr. Black...
No, that's my, Lucci's guitar, my son.
No awareness of Epstein's criminal activity.
I don't, but I would like to learn.
Black reportedly left Apollo in 2021 after a lot of questions came up about his relationship with Epstein, although he said it was for health reasons. But how about this? You had a school photography company known as Life Touch, came under a lot of scrutiny recently because it turns out it's
I had a real good friend in high school who played the guitar. He'd play anything I asked.
All these photos of kids.
Y'all ever hear Adam's song by Blink 182? When I was in high school, that was a great song. He used to play that.
Or that student photos were used in any illicit activities. And it also should be noted that Apollo wasn't linked to Shutterfly and Life Touch until September of 2019, so this is 1 month after Epstein died. By the way, Black has never been charged with a crime in connection with these allegations. But also another person I got to talk about, Richard Branson, okay, the billionaire founder of Virgin Group. Now, his association with Epstein was already quite known, considering the two were photographed together, but let me just expand upon it.
Oh, Ruger, he's half pit, half lab.
Between the two, or trying to connect the two. Like you have this one from 2013 to Jeffrey Epstein that reads, Richard Branson is unable to come to your island because he has guests, but he wants to extend an invitation to you for lunch on Sunday. Dean Kamen and Greg Weiler will be going as well to this lunch. Or how about this one from November 2013, where Epstein writes to Branson's assistant, I can send heli or meet anywhere. Branson's assistant replies, Hi, Jeffrey. If Richard comes to you for lunch, would he have to go through immigration and customs on St. Thomas? Is there a quick way of getting through? And then you have direct communications, like this one from Branson to Epstein in September of 2013. Dear Jeffrey, it was really nice seeing you.
Matt, you in here?
The boys and water
Say hi.
Can't stop speaking about it. Anytime you're in the area, would love to see you, as long as you bring your harem. I think if Bill Gates was willing to say that you've been a brilliant advisor to him, that you slipped up many years ago by sleeping.
Yesterday, Nico wanted to take off from boxing just one day. He was a little sore. Y'all won't believe this. He got in another fight yesterday.
To have a pension for women, but there's nothing wrong with
school.
That. Anyway, something along those lines. So I have to make the argument, is that seemingly in relation to his...
And it was fucking, you won't believe it, same thing. I told him he gotta, I keep telling him, get his hair cut. both my kids. Now my little one's copying Nico. He wants to grow his hair so he won't get it cut. I've been trying to take them to the bar for every week. They want to grow their hair. They don't want to get it cut.
There would have been no contact.
However, growing your hair out for white boys, the in-between stage, I hate it. I keep saying, please just get your hair cut, but they don't. They want to grow their hair. That's why it looks like that. So he wears his little ski to hold his hair back till it's the length he wants. And once again, because the principal called, I just found out about it this morning. Like, he called right before to tell me. They didn't even tell me yesterday, neither did Nico. But the kid and him, he's like, oh, the teacher thought they was playing around. But once again, another kid touched him, took his hat off his head.
From Epstein's assistant in 2017. Hello, Amanda.
I said, that ski's gotten you in more fights than anyone. Everyone always tries to get his Nike ski.
Provide an address to where we can FedEx a check to. Whose attention?
It's
Anything else
crazy.
we should know? How about these from 2012?
Like, these parents need to start buying. Y'all know, you know, if they can't afford it, they can get one on Temu for a couple bucks, like, because they gotta stop trying to take
What's the
shit.
exact location from my captain? Does Sunday evening for dinner sound good? I have another couple, Michael and Marcy Lehrman, with me on my boat.
You
Each
know?
of us has 4 children, 2 16s.
My
2
son got in
14s,
3
a
fights
15,
over his
12,
damn
11, and a
ski.
7-year-old. Thanks, Howard. The response back, quote, below from Jeffrey, comes Saturday or Sunday lunch, Little St. James on the map behind Chrisman's Cove. By the way, there are currently calls for Lutnick to resign, but nothing has come of it yet. But the fallout for others, not so great. Like, you have Larry Summers, former head of Harvard, Treasury Secretary. The friendship between Summers and Epstein's was well reported. You had the Harvard paper.
But yeah,
a lot,
we'll be
Summers
at boxing
visited Epstein
today.
In 2005, there were flight records as part of a lawsuit that revealed.
I can't wait to show the his boxing coach the video.
That come
He'll
forward.
be
In
proud.
Communications between the men, like where Summers was looking for Epstein for seemingly romantic advice, with Epstein saying, quote, he's a pretty good wingman. I didn't want to be in a gift-giving competition while being the friend without benefits. You have this exchange from just months before Epstein was arrested in 2019, where Summers writes about some woman. I said, what are you
What's
up
up,
to?
Mario?
She said, I'm busy.
Luigi?
I said, awfully coy you are. Epstein responds, she's smart, making you pay for past errors. Ignore the daddy, I'm going to go out with the motorcycle guy. You reacted well. Annoyed shows caring. No whining showed strength. Now, Summers released a statement that said, I'm deeply ashamed of my actions and recognize the pain they have caused. I take full responsibility for my misguided decision to continue communicating with Mr. Epstein, but he ended up stepping back from his duties at Harvard. He resigned from his board position at OpenAI. Now, again, to be clear, just a mere association or mention or emails or correspondence doesn't mean that anyone had knowledge of criminal wrongdoing. Or
Are you a
participated
kid,
in
Mario?
wrongdoing.
Honey, there's no kids in here.
Charged other than Maxwell and Epstein. But again, that is just a sampling of some of the things we're seeing as the names were released. You can go and do your own research and see what you find. That's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you should get your podcasts. We're also up on NBC's Peacock as well. If you want to follow me, X, Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Show Jesse Weber live Monday.
Just making sure.
Eastern. We'll see you next time, everybody.
The kids always try to come in here. Oh, okay. Because all my subs, I'll always like subscribe back and go to their channel real quick. And I seen a little boy on your channel, so.
Support treats moderate to severe opioid addiction in adults started on an oral dose of buprenorphine or already on buprenorphine.
But you saying that was old?
That lasts all month long with no complete detox required. Buprenorphine should be started after the first.
That's cool, hon.
Sublocade may cause harm or
As
death.
long as you're not under
As
18.
an opioid, it may cause serious life-threatening breathing problems. Ask about naloxone for opioid overdose. Get emergency help right
Like
away.
and subscribe, y'all. Thanks for coming in, everyone. Hit the like button, subscribe.
Don't take with other opioids,
Please.
benzos, alcohol, or other drugs, including street drugs. This can cause severe drowsiness, decreased awareness, breathing problems, coma, and death. emergencies, tell medical staff you're on Sublocade for opioid dependence. This isn't a full list of risks and side effects. Talk to your doctor and read patient label for more information. If you or a loved one is struggling with opioid addiction, visit Sublocade.com.
Every inmate thinks about escaping prison, especially when you have a lot of time. I was sent to prison for 110
Gotcha.
years.
Pender was convicted in 2002 for the murder of her 2 roommates.
I knew that I was going to die in prison. And then one day, I thought, I bet I could get out of here. Somebody said, Sarah's not in her bed. I said, she did it. She got out of here.
I get a phone call, and it was Sarah. I'm on a cell phone, and I'm on the road. She just told me she walked out of prison.
Investigators say Sarah Pender is on the loose and dangerous.
She's already killed 2 people. Who knows what she's going to do next?
She is a very, very dangerous person.
Over my 3 years working with U.S. Marshals, I caught hundreds of murderers.
No hair content today. I don't have
I would
time.
lose my freedom. I didn't
Wish
know what
I
to do.
did. You know what? I'll do one soon. Cause I have this like heatless curling thing.
People have called me all sorts of names.
I want to try. It's a heatless curling headband thing. It's supposed to, you wrap your hair in it,
Stop looking at me.
Good evening.
and when you wake up, it's supposed to come out curly.
Sarah Pender. Sarah Pender.
Everyone around her was putty in her hands.
She gets people to do things that aren't normal.
I'm real dangerous with my charming smile.
There is a new bombshell allegation in the Epstein files that dead bodies are buried on one of the deceased financier's famous properties. We are going through the allegations, the launch of a new investigation, and I'm going to bring on a professional coroner to discuss, is this even possible? Can the alleged bodies be found and properly examined? Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Jeffrey Epstein has been called a lot of things, and he has been accused of a lot of things. But killer? Being responsible for the cover-up of violent deaths?
I see you, Mike.
That would be a new one. But I gotta say, what are
There's
we supposed
5
to make of
people
these new
in here.
allegations coming out of the
But yeah,
Epstein
you
files?
and him are the
Because
only
as
one
you may know, we've
talking.
been covering as best as we can the existing files that were released from the Department of Justice. And something
I'm trying,
came out
y'all. I'm doing my
that we gotta
makeup,
talk
though.
about. Buried in the millions and millions of pages, there is an email that is now
So
stood
this
out for
weekend, I
very
really want to
dark
set some
reasons.
reactions
There
up.
is an email from November 2019.
I need y'all to
Directed
email me.
Edward Arrogant. According to KOB4, he's a local radio host. The other names are redacted.
Email me, y'all,
This is
and
what it
I want to
says.
do a
Quote,
Q&A,
this is sensitive.
right?
So
Type
in
me
the
your
first
questions
and last email, depending on
and,
your discretion, you can choose to take
suggestions
your
on what
credit if
videos
it
y'all
comes
want me
from
to
a person
react to.
that's
It could be
been
any
there
type.
and seen it all as a former staff at the Zorro. The material below was taken from Jeffrey Epstein's home as my insurance in case of future litigation against Epstein. Sorry, no questions. What is damning about Jeffrey Epstein is yet to be written. Did you know, somewhere in the hills outside the Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madam G. Both died by strangulation during rough fetish sex. And there even appear to be links to purported sex videos, including one that says...
I'll react to anything. It could be a fight video, boxing video, whatever. Any type of video. Give me suggestions.
Thursday, 11/22/19 to the BTC wallet address. That's redacted. The USB will be sent anonymously to your attention by overnight courier upon receipt of the funds. You have my assurance this is exclusive, never shared before, no attorneys, no samples, no questions, please. Confirm ASAP. So Zorro, by the way, is referring to Zorro Ranch. It's about 30 miles south of Santa Fe, New Mexico. We've talked about this Epstein property before. We had found evidence that upon Epstein's death, he wanted this property, along with all of his major properties, to go to Corinna Shuliak, his purported secret girlfriend. This is in trust documents and will documents. Now, Epstein, based on
Was a
apparently
monster.
purchased the 7,500-acre property from former New Mexico Governor Bruce King in 1993. And there were several civil lawsuits that accused Epstein of sexually assaulting girls at this property. It was dubbed the Playboy Ranch, where Epstein, in fact, is accused of sexually abusing a 16-year-old girl as early as 1996. And for example, you have this unsealed 2016 court deposition where the Epstein accuser, renowned Epstein accuser, Virginia Giuffre, testified that Ghislaine Maxwell ordered her to give the late former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson a massage at the ranch. Now, this radio host, Aragon, said that he got this message anonymously. He sent the email to the FBI, which is why, by the way, it was in the Epstein files to begin with, why it was released from the DOJ. And he indicated that he didn't pay this person, which when you think about one Bitcoin back in the day was reportedly worth about $8,000 at the time. And he indicated that while he spoke to an FBI agent, he never heard anything more from it, didn't know the status of the investigation. Now, let me be clear about something, okay? We couldn't find more corroborating evidence to support this claim that, there are dead bodies somewhere in the area of this ranch or on the ranch. We don't know if these allegations are true. But if they are true, when would this have happened? We don't know that either. But apparently, I will tell you, this ranch, this claim, is being taken seriously. And in a little bit, I'm going to be bringing on a professional coroner to determine what can we expect here? What potential evidence could be left behind? How can you even find a body? What will be left to actually examine? How much can we tell here? But the reason that we're even bringing a coroner on and talking about this is because this claim is getting serious attention. You have New Mexico's Land Commissioner, Stephanie Garcia Richard, who sent a letter to the New Mexico Department of Justice and the U.S. Attorney's Office requesting a full investigation. According to KOB4, Epstein had apparently leased land around this.
What you mean,
From
Mario?
the state land office, did it through a company called Cypress Inc. But Garcia Richard ended that lease in light of what happened with Epstein. And in a further escalation, the Chief Deputy Attorney General, James Grayson, said the Department of Justice is taking these allegations seriously, only has so much information right now to go forward with because they're working to try to get the original documents to try to verify these accusations. Grayson saying, quote, "As we understand it, the allegations appear to be unsubstantiated and stem from an anonymous individual referencing events that purportedly occurred more than 6 years ago. We will work to original unredacted emails and any underlying files as access to complete and authentic materials is critical to our assessment and planning. These circumstances raise significant concerns regarding the reliability, authenticity, and credibility of the claims. Notwithstanding those concerns, we are prepared to review and assess any verifiable information should it be provided through appropriate
Now I'm
and
gonna do
lawful
the
means."
gloss
Stephanie
thing.
Garcia Richard
This just
saying,
makes it
quote, "It is our
shiny.
responsibility to manage this land, and if it was being used for nefarious purposes, if it was being used for criminal purposes, we need to know." All right, before we move on, I gotta give a quick shout out to our partner, CyberGhost VPN. Look, have you ever hesitated to connect to public Wi-Fi, like in a restaurant, airport, work, school, because you're afraid someone might steal your information? It's totally reasonable.
Okay.
The truth is, eyes are watching you every time you go online. That's why we got CyberGhost VPN. You can select one of their hundreds of locations before you browse, and they will encrypt everything through their secure servers. This way, no one can track your online activity. It works on up to 7 devices at once, so you can share with family and friends. And with just a couple clicks,
All right, y'all, I gotta go. Gotta go to work. I'll be back on at 5 for boxing.
Like Netflix and Prime. With over 38 million users worldwide and a nearly perfect rating on Trustpilot, CyberGhost is one of the most recommended VPNs out there. And look, if you're still not sure, there's a 45-day money-back guarantee, an 84% discount, plus 4 months free with the link in my description. That is just $2.03 a month to protect your privacy.